Welcome to AirsoftReviewerHD. We're back in the studio. This time we're reviewing the Socom gear, the Daniel Defense Omega 7-inch AEG airsoft rifle. This is OEM by VFC and licensed by Daniel Defense and Noveske. So the gun's going to come with a standard M4 mid-cap magazine. It's full metal. It's also going to come with a Noveske sound amplifier, and then obviously the gun itself. So the gun is full metal except for the stock and the pistol grip. It's made out of aluminum, all the metal components, so it's going to be really lightweight, even though it is very durable. It's going to be lightweight on the field, so if you are playing for a long time, it's not going to get super heavy. And before the review, I was using it a lot, and I noticed that it was not getting heavy at all, which is really nice. And considering it doesn't come with sling mounts, this is definitely something you want to look at. Now, starting on the front of the gun, you have your Noveske sound amplifier. This is an aftermarket piece of kit you could get for your gun separately, but this one comes with it, so it's going to be high quality. Now, I'll show you a test really quick here of the sound amplifier without it and then with it right now. Okay, so as you can tell, there is definitely a difference. This is also could be used as a flash hider as well. It looks really cool in your gun. Obviously, this is replacing the orange tip. This is bought in the USA, so it came with an orange tip. There's SLR around here, so you're going to replace that. But it still looks really cool as a flash hider and as a sound amplifier. Sights on the gun are actually, the front sight is a triangle sight. It's metal, obviously. It doesn't come with a rear one. If you're going to be getting this gun, I definitely recommend picking up an M4 sight and or a red dot sight, which is going to help a lot with aiming, because if you don't get one, it's going to be very hard to aim. You're basically going to have to be guessing where you're shooting, which is not something you want. I'm not really sure why they put a triangle sight on and not a rear one. That's just kind of basically weird, but either way, you're going to have to get a sight, so I recommend picking up one. Now, the rails on the gun are also aluminum. They're actually pretty sharp, but they're really lightweight. I do like this a lot, especially because it makes the gun not as front heavy. Now, you can mount basically your rail covers on here. You can mount foregrip. You could also mount, obviously, lights and lasers. On the top here, you have your full set on top, which is nice, especially for mounting red dots or a sight, because you're going to need one. But it's still nice because they do have the numbers on here, like real steel, so if you do put your sight on, take it off, remember we put it back on. Now, if you do want to have more rail space, they do sell a 12-inch version, so you could get, it's a longer version of the gun, and this is basically going to add a lot more rail space and barrel length. If you're looking at making a DMR, then that's something definitely to look at. I do like the longer version much better than this one, because it does have more rail space, which is always nice. Now, the body of the gun here, I already said it's aluminum. Made out of aluminum, it's metal, but you have your Daniel Defense logo right here. And you also have it on the rail right here as well. Daniel Defense, you also have your USA flag in like OD green, which is really cool. Adds just that more unique type of gun to your loadout. Now, back to this here, you got your Daniel Defense logo, and as well up here. So, licensed by Daniel Defense is definitely going to make this M4 more unique than others out there, which is always something, because mainly, like, everyone makes an M4, because it's the most popular gun out there probably. Now, what I really like about this gun as well is this part. You pull back the charging lever, and the bolt opens up, and it stays in that spot. You can adjust your hop-up system. It's a one-piece plastic hop-up system. The gun also has a full metal gearbox as well. Now, you can adjust your hop-up in here, and then when you want to release it, there's a thing on the left side. The bolt release, you push it, and it releases it. We'll do that again here. And it sounds really cool. Not as cool as some out there, but definitely a realistic feel, especially because the gun is, going to be licensed by Daniel Defense. It's got to have some realism to it. Now, the magazine release on here is really easy to push down, which is actually a bad thing, because when you push it down, your mag could fall out depending on what mag it is. This mag here doesn't feed very well at all, which is actually, I guess you could expect that. It feels very cheap. The paint's falling off as well, scraping off from it. And it's also sometimes very hard to push it in. You got to slam it into the gun. which is something to think about, especially because if you don't get it right and you slam it, it could, internally ruin the gun a little bit. But nothing bad. It's definitely not something huge, but as you see, it's a little bit rough to get in. Now, the pistol grip on the gun is a bit uncomfortable. I'd recommend getting a glove maybe for this gun. Not a glove, for your hand. Or like modifying it a little, putting some tape on there, or changing out the full entire pistol grip. But I mean, it's very uncomfortable because it starts to cut your hand. But nothing too bad. My main thing about this gun is the stock. It's a crane stock. You put your battery inside here. You just do it here. You lift open the tabs, and it's pretty hard to take off. Take it off, and then you take this piece off here. Now this piece is really annoying because sometimes it doesn't fit on, as you see. You gotta make sure you slam it on there, and then push it here, and you put it on. It does take a bit of force to push on as well, but that's not the main thing. As you see here, very loose and really wobbly. This is actually one of the most cheapest parts of the gun, unfortunately, that this is really wobbly and cheap. Obviously it's made of plastic, but just it's very wobbly and unfortunate that has to be like that, because that's one of the main things about M4s is the wobbly stocks, and this one definitely shows that. Even this part is a little bit poorly made, so it is a bit of a cheap stock, but I guess for all this stuff out here, you're going to eventually get something cheap on the gun, unfortunately, with this Socom gear. Now, this gun shoots over 400 FPS. I don't have a chronograph myself, but I've seen videos of it shooting over 400, and I'm just going to have to go with those because it does say on websites it shoots over 400 as well. So if you are playing CQB, then you're going to want to tune down the spring on this gun definitely, because this is going to really ruin you playing in CQB fields and areas, as well as just if your field doesn't allow you to shoot over 400, you're going to want to tune this down as well. Alright, so we're going to shoot the gun at a 30-meter range. So let's head over to the range, see how the gun shoots, and see if the gun actually is worth it. Because it definitely looks cool, but let's see if it shoots good. Okay, so we just came back from a 30-meter range test. This is the semi-test result. And there really isn't much groupings around here. The one down here, but everything else is just spread apart. You got a few flyers, but many of the shots I shot didn't land on the target at all. So you got to remember that. I definitely recommend using .28s or higher. I was using .25 Elite Force BBs. But the weight, you got to have at least .28s in a more of a 400 FPS gun, definitely, as you could tell by the results here. Let's have a look at the full auto test. Surprisingly, the full auto test actually did better. Probably because the hop-up was already warmed up, but definitely got some groups around here. And then all the rest are just flyers like this one and this one. But really, you got a nice group around this area, but definitely nothing that impresses me a lot. But definitely up the BB to at least a .28, and you should definitely see some better results while you're shooting the gun. So the Socom gear, Daniel Defense, Omega 7-inch airsoft gun. The gun's okay. Externally, it's beautiful. I love the externals on it. Full metal, aluminum, very lightweight, durable. But internally, it doesn't shoot as I like. It's not as accurate as I would want. But either way, I mean, for $360, I don't think it's worth it. But that's up to you. If you're looking for a unique M4, definitely this is the gun. It's licensed by Daniel Defense and Noveske. But if you're looking for a unique gun in general or a really good gun, this probably isn't the gun because, it's okay, but it's got its flaws, and I've already mentioned them in the review. But, the gun's okay. It's a good gun, though. For starting off, definitely not. But, if you want a decent, unique M4, then this is probably the gun. But otherwise, look online for more guns, but that's the review of the Socom Gear Day in Defense Omega 7-inch airsoft gun. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share the video and like us on Facebook down below, and I'll see you later. Remember, tell us how to improve our videos in the comments down below. You always watched AirsoftReviewerHD.